Okay, so I'm going to read another excerpt from a different book. This is book 2 in the Love and Balance series. This one is called The Perfect Score, and there's a lot of elements going on in here. There's a dad trying to find a place for his daughter to train, a daughter who, wants to still train but do some other things with her life, and a coach who's sort of, caught in the middle, trying to make people happy and trying to figure out what's also best for her. So here is the back cover for this book. Fun-loving and free-spirited Shelley Longstaff summons her iron will to stand up to Jacques Fortier when he demands she accept his daughter into the gymnastics program or he will sue. Jacques Fortier is at his wit's end with his daughter for her unsportsmanlike behavior. In his frustration, he threatens to sue Shelley and the club for discrimination if they don't accept her for training. As Shelley and Jack discuss terms of Anna's acceptance into training, Shelley discovers a tragedy that is causing a rift between father and daughter. When Jack asks for a favor, Shelley finds herself hard-pressed to refuse. When a crisis of teenage proportions threatens their relationship, will they retreat or risk everything for the chance to achieve the perfect score? Okay, so the first excerpt is from chapter 1, and this one is actually from his point of view, when he's first meeting her for the first time. Stunned by his sudden thought, he cleared his throat and swept the invading notion from his mind, his mission to find a place for his daughter to train. In the 10 minutes he'd been here, he hadn't gotten very far. No one had refused to train Anna before, therefore he held the expectation that this club would welcome them with open arms. Would this really be the end of her career? As he drew in a breath of floral-scented air wafting from the sprite in front of him, long-asleep sensations awakened. Oh, Christ, not now. Breaking eye contact with her, he rubbed at the back of his neck and hung his head. Tell me why you don't want her to join. Pardon? Shelley appeared taken aback at his statement. Maybe some honesty would be good for both of them. Jack raked a hand over his close-cropped head, shrugged out of his suit jacket, and flung it onto a chair. Loosening his tie, he turned back to see Shelley staring at him. Well? Well, what? He performed a palms-up gesture. Oh, right, your daughter. She indicated for him to sit. A slight pink tint to her cheeks increased her attractiveness. She really is attractive when she's standing her ground. I'd like the truth, please. Tell me why you don't want my daughter to train here. I said our program was full, she repeated. Why do you think I don't want her to train here? Jack sighed. Every other club had dollar signs in their eyes. You appear to have integrity. You didn't jump at the chance to make room for her. The pink stain on her cheeks brightened. Shelley cleared her throat, rested her elbows on the desktop, and steepled her fingers. All right. But remember, you asked for it. I think your daughter is a spoiled brat, and I don't want her ruining the positive atmosphere we have in the gym. The words hung in the air like a black cloud before a thunder shower. Even though he had asked for the truth, he hadn't expected her to be quite so blunt. He cocked his head and looked her straight in the eye. You don't pull any punches, do you? Apparently neither do you. Threatening to sue me is a low blow, and if you weren't a lawyer, I wouldn't believe you'd have the balls. But you're a father, fighting for what he feels is right for his daughter. Reason doesn't always prevail. She sat back in her chair and clasped her fingers together over her abdomen. His eyebrows rose up in response. She's got me there. Shelley continued speaking. Everyone knows who you are. The gymnastics community here in Manitoba is like one big gossipy family. She folded her hands on top of the desk. Mr. Fortier, you asked me my opinion and I gave it. Is there anything else? She's refusing to back down. Admiration struck a chord in his heart. I like you, Shelley. You'd be good for my daughter. Please call me Jack. Surprise registered in her face, and she gave her head a shake. A minute ago you were threatening to sue my ass. Mr. Fortier, I think we need to maintain some kind of formality here. He put up a hand. Jack. Call me Jack, Shelley. I'd prefer it if you call me Ms. Longstaff, Mr. Fortier, she emphasized. Despite what people think, a gymnastics club is a place of business. At a loss, he frowned. Perhaps you could tell me something, Shelley said. Why do you want Anna to switch clubs again? He shrugged. Because no one can get her to realize her full potential. Even he heard the weariness in his voice. She has a lot of talent, but no one can get her to train properly, and you're right, she does act like a brat. Everyone lets her get away with her behavior. Have you ever considered it might have something to do with outside influences and not a particular gym? He leaned forward in his chair. Are you questioning my parenting skills? Not at all. I'm merely observing the situation at hand. Mr. Fortier, you barged into my office and all but demanded me to train your daughter, and then threatened to sue me and the club if we didn't comply. It makes me wonder whether or not you listen to your daughter. Do you treat her in the same manner? Have you ever thought she doesn't want whatever dreams you're shoving down her throat? Shelley's cheeks burned red again, but he admired her courage. He'd had a long day and come in guns blazing, acting like a dick. Despite that, he didn't appreciate the insinuation of being a bad father. With quiet conviction, he said, How dare you assume I treat my daughter unfairly? Your behavior since you entered the office begs the question in my mind. I'm sure as a lawyer you analyze people's motivations. As a coach, we are taught to do the same. It's called sports psychology. He began to sputter a reply, but she cut him off. From what I've seen of Anna at competitions, her behavior suggests to me it might be that you want this more than she does. He waved her suggestion away. Absurd. Is it? Her eyes pierced his with the question. He tamped down the anger, trying to calm himself with a breath again. Why didn't his daughter want to be the best anymore? He tried talking to her, but she always told him what he wanted to hear, how much she loved gymnastics and didn't want to quit. He didn't know what to do anymore. Did the brown-haired beauty in front of him have a point?